All right. My name is Chris Campbell. I'm a practicing CPA and I work with small to mid-sized businesses and individuals to help them pay the least amount of taxes possible while keeping them out of jail. So today I wanted to talk about something that employers get confused with sometimes when starting payroll. So when you get that first employee and you start putting them on payroll, and sometimes it may not even get in the first employee. It might even be paying yourself. So for those that are S corporation owners and then they put themselves on payroll, this can be an issue as well. It's mainly tied to the payroll taxes that you have to pay to your particular state that you're in. So what some folks don't understand or what they miss is that it's an honest mistake. And I can understand that is that you go through and you get your tax ID number and they are under the impression that, okay, that's really all the numbers that they need to get. When they file their payroll tax returns, they're using that tax ID. And what happens is that in order to cover the state payroll taxes, in most states, you have to get a different number to pay those payroll taxes. And that's usually with the Department of Labor with that state and not necessarily with the Division of Taxation or Department of Revenue, whichever it's called in your state. And that's mainly because of the payroll taxes that you pay to the state. And again, this is the payroll taxes. So not the taxes that are withheld from the check, but the actual taxes that go to the state. It's tied to unemployment insurance. So for those who don't know, when you get anyone that gets laid off from a job, you get unemployment benefits, right? However, it's like insurance. The employer has to pay those insurance premiums to the state so that when any employee needs to get it, the insurance policy kicks in and then they receive their benefits. So each employer is responsible for paying the premiums on those benefits for everybody, including themselves. So if you're an S Corp owner, you're an employee, you have to pay those insurance premiums. So those premiums go to the Department of Labor or the Department of Revenue. So in most of those instances, you're required to get an identification number with the state so that you can go ahead and file those payroll taxes each quarter. And most of that is paying the unemployment insurance premiums. So what I've seen is that sometimes employers don't understand this and don't realize that you're dealing with two separate entities. So because some states go as far as you have to pay the income taxes that are withheld from the state to the Department of Revenue, but then you have to file something else differently with the Department of Labor to cover the unemployment insurance premium. So sometimes that can be different entities that you have to send it to. Sometimes it's different forms altogether that you have to send it to. And what I've seen is people get confused about why there are all these different returns to file and taxes to pay when it's all associated with the state, right? When you figure it's a state, it should all go to the same place. But again, every state is different. It may vary, right? And obviously that depends upon if your state has income taxes. So if your state doesn't have income taxes, at least you don't have to worry about the withholding part. But even in those states that don't have income taxes, still payroll taxes more than likely that you have to pay to cover those unemployment benefits. So if you're missing a particular number or you're getting errors, make sure that you have both your Department of Labor number as well as your tax ID number. So again, it's a completely different thing and you should go and obtain that number just as you're starting the payroll. So just a quick tidbit there, just something that I happen to see where a number of new employers that start payroll get a little confused about. I hope this was helpful. And if you have any more questions about this topic or any other tax or account related questions, feel free to reach out. I'm happy to help. All right. That's all for now, and I'll talk to you in the next one.